Beautiful to see that the system was working, I guess, as designed, right? It's great to see that there could be a guilty verdict for somebody that we never really thought to see that coming. The way that it came out, as well, I was like, oh, okay, they're gonna adjourn they're gonna come and talk about it tomorrow. The jury's going to bed. They wrapped it up for today. 2 seconds later, I'm getting text messages, the news pop-ups on the phone. You know how they be coming up. And I'm like, wait a minute, are they back in? They reached, oh my God, a verdict. Okay, when is it coming out? Oh, 2 seconds later, it's guilty, 34. Like Mark was saying, it ain't one, it ain't two, it ain't 10, it's 34. And while it is 34, and it's about this hush money and all these things and how it was hidden, and with Stormy, all of that, right? I would have preferred it to be something more like what Fannie Willis is doing, but it's great that we're here with it. The thing I just am, the conversations that are online immediately as we're learning, because I'm learning what the kind of felonies this were. There's somebody saying it's class E. Had to search up what that was. That's like the lower tier of it all. We're learning, we're trying to educate ourselves on this because the news just came out. But the conversations online are what is bothering me the most. From people, especially who, okay, the other side of it is, and I'll get to that part of it, but the side of it that I'm looking at is like, okay, Donald Trump still running for president, still able to run for president, and felon, right? But yet felons can't vote. Felons can't, they don't have access, or they can't get specific jobs, right? They don't have access to housing because they're a felon. Some of their health care is restricted because of that. But Donald Trump can run for president as a felon. These are the things that I'm looking at. And I'm like, it sucks that this is America where this is possible, where the math don't math that way. And a lot of these felons the people who are felons won't run for president because they don't think that's an opportunity for them. But this rich white man who gets away with almost everything can just go outside like it's another day of the Donald Trump show after this and say it was, it's a witch hunt. It's all of this, it's all of that. And people are outside crying, which is ridiculous.
I know, we saw that.
It just shows us how this man is just an entertainer and people see him as that. But then there's that thing that he said, that that comment that he made a few months ago when he was talking to the blacks, when he stated, you guys, from what I hear, blacks, or whatever you call them, blacks, they love me more. African Americans, they love me more because of this criminal record, right? And because of my relationship with the law right now, they can relate to that. And so many people online, like academics, I was just talking about this on Mark's show, like seeing his comment, and he's already garbage, and he has a case of his own that just came out looming. But academics himself is coming out there saying, man, this makes me want to vote for him more.
Seriously?
He'll be the one. He'll be in the one when the White House rocking the ankle bracelet. And that bothered me. That bothered me so much. And then I remember conversations of your favorite rappers like Sexy Red being on podcasts saying why she loved Trump and he funny because he gave her a little bit of coin, during the beginning of the pandemic. And here's my thing with that. People see this and they're not educating themselves as to why you like him, but you don't see that coin that you got, how you're having to pay it back 5 years later, what that actually looks like. You're not educating yourself on anything. Y'all just associating yourself with Trump because of this. That's what sucks. The conversations online are bothering me so much. But the other one is that they're saying it's true. It is a witch hunt. They don't want Donald Trump to be president. So they're trying to criminalize him. Let's take it back to 2006 and them. If we saw Barack Obama running and there was anything criminal looming over him, everybody, all the right, would have said, how can we have a felon or a criminal? How can we have that for president? How can they would make it a whole thing? Although in America, like I just stated, you can be a felon and still run for president, but they would have made that a thing like it was not America.
Democrats would have made it a thing. I mean,
they would have.
Yeah.
Nobody would have.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No one would have allowed it.
But that's what I don't like about the situation. The other side of it is, I just don't believe that he'll ever see jail time. Do I absolutely love that we got a guilty somewhere near his name? Perfect. Love it. The system did what it needed to do. The people, the jury knew what they came there for. They know why they were there. We know why they were there, but we didn't know that we were going to get a guilty verdict today. But there we go. And it was beautiful to hear that. But are we celebrating him going to jail? Not so much, because he won't even go, right? I don't think he'll go. Will they put something on his ankle? I don't think so. In a week, when they really come out and we see what it's going to look like, I don't think it's going to be what people are saying it might be. This is Donald Trump we're talking about, who we saw skate like across so much criminal things. This right here ain't even close to the other stuff. But this is Donald Trump we're talking about. He's gotten away with so much, and he may appeal this thing all the way, like I was saying on the show earlier. He may appeal this thing to the day he dies. He may stretch it out and just continuously appeal until he done served, possibly, God forbid, again as president, and then it's just too late. Like, that's it.
Yeah, so. Rebecca, you talking about how, like, what if this were Obama, reminded me of during the end of Obama's second term. I think it was before the 2016 election. It might have been underway. But anyways, Obama was talking about how, if I were to run for a third term, I would get elected again because I think I'm a good president. And that was an entire news cycle with Fox News anchors shrieking about how he wants to be an authoritarian. And then just the other day, there was this clip with Greg Gutfeld, and Charlemagne was on, and they were downplaying Trump's entire coup. And Charlemagne, like I did a video about this, Charlemagne's comments were exactly what they needed to be. I mean, he is a threat to democracy, but like the way that they downplayed it, and that made me think of the Obama situation when they were just like, he wants to be a dictator. He's not going to step down. He's going to run for a third term. And now you have Trump literally floating a third term. Like, he's saying it jokingly, but at the NRA convention, he's like, maybe we go for another one, 2 terms in a row or something. And there's just not a peep from them. Like, there's such a double standard. And yet, as there's this double standard, they pretend as if like they're the biggest victims, and Trump is uniquely like being vilified when he hasn't up until this point, because of who he is, because he's rich and a former president. Like, the fact that he was actually convicted is really like, it's shocking to me. Like you said, I don't think that he's going to see any jail time, but just like the prospect of accountability, to me, just the fact that he's mad, that's like more than I ever expected to get.
He's so upset, but the way that he's going to spin this, and how he even went outside. We never heard him speak about his wife. I feel like there's, like I was saying earlier, that's a sentiment that we've missed a lot. I mean, we've seen them. We haven't seen that lady since, but we've seen them, out when he was president, and that whole fake get up of a relationship. But if he really wanted to feel, to me, personable and relatable, that's something that he would mention. But that was not. And it was more so, they got me. Look what they're trying to do to me. Witch hunt. Like, it's them. It's these immigrants coming over here, taking y'all jobs. They trying to stop me. Y'all. And that's what he was selling to the people. And they're like, that's so true. That's why they're trying to get him charged. That's what people are picking it up as. And it's, and this is what sucks, because he likes that. He's that entertainer type of guy. So him coming out, after and making his little speech, and then heading immediately to Twitter or whatever his little thing is called, and putting all that, his words out there, and then having something to say directly to the camera, and then coming out with his little wave, I'll be back, y'all. I'll be back as your president. And this is what your president has to go through. And this is why you should vote for me, because this is what I'm going through. And you may know somebody that has been a felon, or they tried to bring him down, or whatever. And this is how we can relate. And as your president, I will make sure nothing happens for anybody, but this is where we can relate. This, and people are eating it up. If his fan base, his cult, can do what they did on January 1st, that's solid, willing to risk their lives. We saw when he won presidency, 2016 or whatever, and we saw how people immediately went out when he was the whole both sides comment or whatever, holding up tiki torches in Charlottesville, and how he supports all of that. We saw what the effect of Trump was early on. Look how much he's built since then. The cult has grown and grown and grown over time. So this, what we thought, what people would look at for somebody else like Barack Obama as, oh my God, a criminal for president, a criminal running for president. No, this is entertainment. This for them is, oh my goodness, my savior. right? They're trying to get him, just like they did Jesus, and they won't get him. They won't get him. We'll back him. We'll back him. We'll make sure that he stays in. They said that, his support went up like nobody's business for donations and all of that. So,
didn't he actually compare himself to Jesus and Nelson Mandela too at some point? It was
I'm
probably a
pretty
couple
sure he
months
did.
ago, but
I'm
just
pretty sure he
the
did.
hubris of this guy, like, and again, to bring it back to like what he's being convicted of, it was hush money payments because he didn't want a story of him having an affair with a porn star getting out. And I'm sorry, like, that wouldn't have even hurt him if it did.
It wouldn't have. If he came out and said,
Right.
yes, I slept with her, he probably would have got more support.
Right?
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it wouldn't have hurt him at all.
It didn't look good. It didn't look good.
The video
at
of
that.
him coming out and saying, grab her by the, you know what, like that was out. And that didn't hurt him. If that's not going to hurt him, the Daniel story is definitely not going to hurt him. And he wouldn't have been like, again, if he came out and just said it, obviously he wouldn't because of his wife. But like, if he had said he did that, it would not have hurt him, and he would not have been got this, these charges.
I think in 2024, in these days, it wouldn't have hurt him. I feel like back then it may have done a little something because, like I said, from then to now, he has built more of a cult on, in politics.
Yeah, but
and stuff.
Back in 2016, it was grab him by the.
Oh yeah,
that video was out. The week it was like the couple weeks before the election, and that didn't do shit. It really wasn't. I mean, Hillary was just the most deeply unpopular candidate of all time. Like the fact that she was less popular than Trump, that's really what ultimately led to Trump winning. It's just terrible turnout.
It was I just, guys, like, what a beautiful day, for justice. We see them, it doesn't only work in the favor of white folks, but at the same time, we ain't gonna see that man in jail. I wish. I would love it. Oh my goodness. But he got a dollar or two to appeal this thing until he can't. He only got about, I don't know how many more years left on his life. But he will definitely stretch it till that time.
I feel like he has a lot of years left. People who are evil, they live to be so old. I mean, look at Henry Kissinger. How old? Well, he was like 136 years old.
Yeah.
It just they live to be so long. So as much as I would like to think that, it'll be over soon because, the Lord will call back his angel, this motherfucker is going to probably outlive all of us. He's just too evil to die.
I got to say, I was looking this up because I'm pretty sure this is true. Most felons are not allowed into Canada. Like most American felons can't come to Canada.
What?
Obviously it would change as for a president, but like double standards here.
Oh, wait, they will make sure that they move the goalposts.
I wonder how many countries would just ban him out.
Yeah, they're not. They're going to move that goalpost if he were to win. They'll move that and they'll be like, this is the president of the United States. So for him,
Then again, if he doesn't win, I wonder if Canada's just like, no, you're never coming here again. Fuck you.
Yeah. Listen, I hope
okay
so. I really hope so. Felon, right? I hope
He's
so.
just
I know.
Stuck in the country.
He needs the same treatment that he wanted for other felons. Like he should be treated exactly the same. And I don't want people to think that like there's justice in this country and that we don't have a two-tier justice system. This is an anomaly. Okay. And even with him being convicted, none of us expect him to see a single day in jail. So, and he's not going to be treated like other felons. Again, he could, as Rebecca said, he could run for president as a felon when other felons can't vote. It's just, it's a twisted
I will
system,
say,
yet
though,
he's still the victim.
Well, maybe those other felons should run for president too. Nothing stops.
But that's not on their mind because the people that's more so felons and how it hits in the system is brown and black people. Yeah. So they keep them down enough for them not to think that they can go and be president. So here we are, this white man who's rich and all of the above. Of course, he's going to have those aspirations and he's going to make like that. It sucks. It really, really sucks for those people who are felons who can't even vote. This is a time, what did Ron DeSantis do to people who were felons? I remember we had reported on this sometime last year, and people thought they were able to vote. And I remember Ron DeSantis having police officers coming to their homes, and just people who were rehabilitated into the communities and had their homes and were living a certain they were told that they could vote. They were told that they can vote, and they went out and they thought, this is an opportunity for me. Great, I can do this. And they were mostly Black people. And police officers under Ron DeSantis' orders went out and arrested them. People were just watering their grass. People were just walking out to the mailbox and they were getting arrested. Didn't know for what. Little old ladies, all type of people, and didn't know for what. And that sucks, putting fear into people. But yet this felon gets the opportunity to be president.
Yeah. And that situation, was messed up because even the cops weren't necessarily sure why they had to arrest these folks. So when the cops are like, oh, should I be doing this? When they say that, that's when it's really fucked up and arbitrary.
When they feel empathy for something, it's fucked up.
Yeah. Like, this seems a little bit messed up. I don't know if I should be doing this, but I mean, of course, I'm not going to miss the opportunity to arrest somebody, especially if they're Black or brown. So, just
follow orders generally. I'm not going to miss an opportunity to just follow orders.
Exactly. They do love following orders.
I don't like Trump, and I really just don't like it. But here we are. We can celebrate something guilty on his name. We got that mugshot. We can celebrate something guilty on his name. I'm really hoping, because I know it's kind of dying down, especially with the, media and how they turned Fani Willis and her relationship, all that stuff. I would have loved for the focus to be there and that to really become something. And I feel like, it's dying down right now. Even with her and her handling of the case, but I really would have loved to see that through. Hopefully we still get something from that, but
I feel like that's the most important case because that is the state of Georgia. He can't pardon himself in the state. He can only pardon himself for federal crimes. So, and that's the election, that's the one where he called up, for those who don't remember, he called up their Secretary of State and asked him to find votes that he didn't have in a state that he lost. That, I think, is the most important one that we're probably not going to know the result of until after the election. And at that point, it's moot. I mean, it doesn't matter. Even if he is convicted in Georgia, like, what are you going to do to the president of the United States, if he wins? So, this is, I feel like, the best that we're going to get in terms of a Trump conviction before the election. If he doesn't win the election, then I think it's a different story. It's hard to imagine him seeing a day in jail. But I mean, we're talking about somebody he's leading in the polls right now. So, that, I don't know. We're in such a weird situation.
Democrats, there's still time to replace Joe Biden. There's still time to replace Joe Biden. Put anybody else that fucking ticket, please, for the love of God.
I'll take Pete Buttigieg. I will take literally any Democrat. Any Democrat.
I can't.
Okay?
I'm trying to think at this point if there would be somebody worse, simply because of what Biden has been doing with the genocide. Like I really don't think there could be a worse Democrat at this point.
It's so bad. Like I'm not even gonna lie. I'm like, I forgot he was still running. Like it's really bad. He should. It's not a great representation. We already know Trump's garbage, trash, like hot trash. But Joe Biden constantly keeps showing us like it's so terrible.
Turnout's going to be so low. That's the biggest issue.
That's where I'm like, I hate to say it. I wanted to see something different. But as we are going through this and as more is happening coming out of Gaza, coming out of Gaza, and he's not. Our president has something to do with what's happening there, and that bothers me so bad, and it bothers a lot of people. So having to go in and think about who am I going to be voting for? I'm not voting just because it's Democrat. I'm not voting just because it's blue. I'm not voting just because it's left. But I got to be smart about this. And then it's like, now I'm starting to understand why people are saying they want to hold their votes. While I think don't hold your vote, I feel like your vote is very important, especially for ancestors who have fought for this right for us. Maybe look locally and focus on that. But I am starting to really, really, really understand that whole part of it, that whole conversation with it.
Actually, just to correct myself, I think John Fetterman's worse. So not.
Yeah, him. I was just gonna say, people in the chat immediately.
Excuse me.
I see that in
my argument. Not any Democrat.
He's been criticizing Biden for being too left wing on Israel. So
yeah,
Fetterman is the guy that's worse. But apart from Fetterman, anybody else?
Richie Torres also would not vote for him.
Oh yeah, okay. I don't think
there's other. Okay, I take back what I said. Okay,
I was thinking more like senators that might run.
Bob Menendez for president, folks. Bob Menendez. Menendez.
Honestly,
What's his stance on a
probably
ceasefire?
better. Probably better.
I mean, listen, he's corrupt, but
Let's get
the only difference,
two criminals against each other in November.
the difference between like the corruption of Bob Menendez and like other people in Congress, Bob Menendez, Bob Menendez, I don't know.
Bob Menendez.
No, but like he took gold bars for his corruption to do the bidding of a foreign government, and other folks just take campaign contributions. I mean, he's stupid for skirting campaign finance laws when they're so lax. If you get in trouble for campaign finance violations in this system, you're really corrupt. But at the same time, it's not that different. Like, I feel like it's in the same like arena as John Fetterman taking money from AIPAC and then saying that he supports genocide. So I don't know. It's just it's a very depressing situation. Yeah.
I'm gonna come.
Do not come.
Welcome to the Come Zone.
Come.